to physically invest.
President Buhari inaugurates poultry breeding farm in Kaduna, promises accelerated national development through
We believe that it is just and right that this local government, the Nigerian local government, and the oil-producing communities must benefit from the rich resources of this area.
Prospects of fast-tracking the development and peace of the Niger Delta in focus as the second National Council of Niger Delta holds in Akure. President Buhari leads Nigeria's delegation to the 72nd UN General Assembly in New York. Prospects of getting Africa a permanent seat on the Security Council top on the agenda. And online media practitioners brainstorm on the imperative of curbing the trend of hate speeches. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News with me, Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. Ademola Adeoye is in Lagos, while Abdullahi Regachukun is in our Kaduna studio. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally inaugurated Nigeria's largest integrated feed mill and poultry breeding farm and hatchery in Kaduna. At the ceremony, President Buhari described the takeoff of the industrial concern as a vote of confidence in his administration's policy focused on economic diversification for acceleration of national development. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
This is President Muhammadu Buhari's first official outing outside Abuja since returning from vacation, and indeed, the people of Kaduna are greatly honored and delighted to receive him. This industrial concern, which the president is here to inaugurate at the outskirts of Kaduna, is designed to produce 1.6 million day-old chicks per week and 360,000 metric tons of animal feed annually. President Muhammadu Buhari applauded the collaborative efforts between Kaduna State Government and the Olan Group of Singapore in making the project a reality, describing it as a significant milestone in the nation's quest towards achieving food security and economic diversification.
This project is very important to us, as the governor says, and we are determined as a government to take those who are coming to physically invest where our people can get jobs, learn expertise, and a lot of resources to our people. I very much thank Olam Group for the confidence in Nigeria, and we thank them very much, and we assure them we will cooperate with them for further investment.
Governor Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State emphasized that the project is a result of careful investment promotion by the state, motivated by President Buhari's vision and passion for Nigeria's economic growth.
This Olam farm is the largest single foreign direct investment in Kaduna State in decades. It will create thousands of direct jobs, but will create hundreds of thousands of indirect jobs because it will outsource its grain supplies to our farmers and create a ready source of day-old chicks for our smaller poultry farmers throughout northern Nigeria and beyond. Rather than destroy value, this Olam facility has come to enhance capacity and opportunity for our small-scale farmers.
Around the facility, the governor said a promising and highly ambitious green economic zone is being developed by the state government as a deliberate attempt to make Kaduna an investment destination of choice.
This Olam facility is the seed that will flower the emergence of a major industrial hub in this location, in this state, by God's grace.
Governor El-Rufai expressed appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for immensely supporting and encouraging the state to meet its aspirations for enhanced growth and development of the economy. From Kaduna, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And back in Abuja, critical issues of interest to Nigeria, Ghana, and the West African sub-region were discussed when President Muhammadu Buhari played host to his Ghanaian counterpart, Nana Akufo-Addo. 'Addo. 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 '
President Nana Akufo-Addo is the second foreign leader to visit President Muhammadu Buhari since returning from London on medical vacation. Simply put, demonstration of solidarity and goodwill was the purpose of the Ghanaian leader's visit to his Nigerian counterpart, who was a special guest at his inauguration in Accra, January this year. Records show that the two leaders share many things in common, prominent of which is defeating their country's sitting presidents to gain political power after several attempts at the polls. Their discussions on issues of common interest held behind closed doors lasted over 30 minutes, after which President Akufo-Addo briefed journalists.
All of us have been very anxious about his well-being, and it was very good news to hear that he had returned. But we're Africans, and it meant that I had to come and see for myself how he was. And I'm very delighted to see that he's come back and very vigorous and, as always, very engaged on the issues of our day. So we've had a good half an hour together, reviewing matters both in Ghana and in Nigeria, as well as immediate matters to do with what's going on in the ECOWAS community. So I'm very happy that I've had this opportunity to come, and I'm going back to Ghana very fortified and able to tell the Ghanaian nation that our big brother Nigeria is well, and that things are well in hand here.
Presidential media advisor Femi Adesina speaks more on the significance of the Ghanaian leader's visit to President Muhammadu Buhari.
It shows that the relationship between Nigeria and Ghana remains steady and sturdy. For another president to have come just to say, I came to look you up. So it's a good development. In ECOWAS, you can't talk of those 15 countries without mentioning Nigeria and Ghana. So it's good for sub-regional cooperation.
Nigeria and Ghana have always bonded very well as sister countries. As a people, we have seen ourselves as being one, Nigeria, Ghana. And this visit should reinforce that sentiment.
President Nana Akufo-Addo has since left Abuja for Accra, Ghana. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the Buhari administration is determined to ensure that the people of the Niger Delta region get justice, equity, and all that the region deserves. The Vice President was speaking at the Second National Council on Niger Delta in Akure, Ondo State. The Vice President urged the people to ensure that their representatives do the needful, as the federal government cannot single-handedly work without the cooperation of the legislature and the judicial arms of government.
Do not expect pity or sympathy. What they want and what they deserve is the fulfillment of decades of promises that have been made to them. What they ask for is to be given an opportunity to fulfill the immense potential of this region and to enjoy the peace, security, and development that our Constitution guarantees them as citizens. And this is exactly what the Buhari administration is focused on achieving.
From Akure, the Vice President, accompanied by the Governor of Ondo State, moved to Igbokoda, when he again stressed the federal government's readiness to partner with oil-producing communities for the rapid development of the Niger Delta region. This was at the Niger Delta Town Hall meeting. Musa Abubakar reports.
Amongst issues raised at the town hall meeting include the consistent destruction of fishing and farming activities by crude oil exploration and the need for traditional rulers to ensure peace in the region, given the commitment of the federal government to support it. The Vice President assured the oil-producing communities that the Buhari administration is committed to developing the region, urging women in the communities to take advantage of the federal government's special microcredit scheme designed for them.
We believe that it is just and right that this local government, the Nigerian local government, and the oil-producing communities must benefit from the rich resources of this area, and we will do so.
Earlier, the governor appealed to the federal government to extend its policy of magnanimity to the state. In Abuja, Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari will be leading a significant Nigerian delegation to the 72nd United Nations General Assembly, UNGA, to address major local, global issues of interest to Nigeria. Minister of Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyema, at a pre-departure media conference, stated that Nigeria has a clear mission aimed at facilitating major reforms to get Africa a permanent seat on the UN Security Council, and Joy Osiago is here to give us the salient issues.
The roadmap and strategies for the actualization of Nigeria's sustainable development goals for 2030, as well as the country's interest in local and global issues of the day. These are the critical elements of Nigeria's agenda at the 72nd regular session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA.
We will share with the international community the challenges that we have been facing and the successes, all the hostages held by terrorist groups here in Nigeria. The international community has bought into that, and we will now be pushing to actualize that. You'll recall that Mr. President has been named as the champion under the African Union theme for next year on corruption.
The delegation, which includes ministers and governors, will also engage in robust discussions to continue the campaign for reforms of the United Nations, especially with an eye securing a permanent seat for Africa on the UN Security Council.
We believe, for instance, that the Security Council should be reformed. Of course, Nigeria remains ready to serve.
The 72nd regular session of the United Nations General Assembly has the theme, focusing on people, striving for peace and decent life for a sustainable planet. From the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abuja, Joy Osiago, NTA News.
The federal government of Nigeria has expressed deep regret at the desperate human rights situation in the Rohingya state of Myanmar, which it described as reminiscent of what had happened in Rwanda in 1994 and in Bosnia-Herzegovina in 1995. The federal government condemns the horrendous human suffering caused by what is now confirmed by the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights in a statement to be a textbook example of ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya people. The federal government of Nigeria takes note of this statement and calls upon the United Nations to invoke the principle of the responsibility to protect and intervene in Myanmar to stop the ongoing ethnic cleansing and create the conditions for the safe return and rehabilitation of the fleeing Rohingya people to their motherland. Nigerian government similarly calls on all members of the civilized world to condemn this heinous act and to demand for appropriate punishment to the perpetrators. The Federal High Court has commenced the 2017-2018 new legal year with renewed commitment to quicker dispensation of justice. Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Ibrahim Auta, also recommended the role of the court in ensuring political stability for Nigeria. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo completes the story.
In a pointed reference to the qualification saga which political opponents tried to use to stop President Muhammadu Buhari from contesting in 2015, Justice Ibrahim Auta said that the Federal High Court particularly, and the judiciary by extension, has always been forthright in its protection of justice, which helps to unite the country.
I thank the National Judicial Council and the Federal Judicial Service Commission for cooperating with us for this achievement.
Attorney General of the Federation, who was represented, and the body of senior advocates of Nigeria all praised the contributions of the Federal High Court to justice dispensation in Nigeria.
I trust that the promotion of these values will continue to be the priority of the Federal High Court in this legal year.
The ceremonies that go with the commencement of the legal year in each of the courts is an opportunity for stock taking, which is what the Federal High Court has just done in order to start off the year on an active note. From the Federal High Court, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
And you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Up ahead, Abia State government declares 3 days curfew. Details of these and more after this timeout.
From 1967 to 1970, Nigeria went through a horrifying civil war. It didn't matter who was wrong or right. Everybody suffered. Those who fought that war say it should never happen again.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise, the dead would have been to no avail, would all have been in vain.
The words of our elders are full of wisdom.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Standard, we say. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard and cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office when near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
The Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General Mohammed Tasiu Ibrahim, GSS, PSC, MNI, TSM, CM, FCM, hereby announces the convocation and passing out parade of cadets of 64 regular corps, 65 regular corps Navy and Air Force, and short service corps 44 Army as follows. Convocation, date, Thursday, 14th September 2017. Venue, Academy Auditorium, NDA Permanent Site, Afaka Kaduna. Time, 10 a.m. Passing out parade. Date, Saturday, 16th September 2017. Venue, Parade Ground, NDA Permanent Site, Afaka Kaduna. Time, 9 a.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Announcer, Academy PRO.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission holds a 2-day stakeholders consultation in the 6 geopolitical zones and Abuja on 3 of its proposed regulations. These are regulations on business continuity, eligible customer, and the multi-year tariff order methodology, as well as discussions on metering. Expected at the stakeholders consultations are chief executive officers of electricity generation, transmission and distribution companies, regulatory officers, representatives of civil society organizations, consumer associations, organized labor, relevant states and federal government agencies, and the general public. Consultation for the Southwest Geopolitical Zone holds as follows. Date, September 13 and 14, 2017. Venue, Victoria Crown Plaza, 292B at Jose Adeogun, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time, 10 a.m. daily. Announcer, Management.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, is organizing another intensive training for admission officers of all tertiary institutions and a sensitization workshop for 2017 UTME candidates on their rights to fair treatment and active involvement in choice of institutions and programs in the ongoing 2017-2018 admission exercise. The event will hold on Thursday, 21st of September 2017 at the International Conference Center, Abuja. The sensitization session will take place at 10 a.m. to 12 noon to provide participation opportunities for all candidates. The event will broadcast on NTA Network and also available on webinar, physical attendance, and video streaming. Further details are available on JAM website and in Punch, Leadership, The Nation, Vanguard, Blueprint, This Day, and Authority newspapers of Wednesday, 13th of September 2017. Announcer, Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, in collaboration with the National Bureau of Statistics, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, will be conducting a survey on exportable agricultural commodities in the 36 states of Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory. The exercise will be conducted from September 2017 to November 2017.
The information gathered during the exercise will be used exclusively for planning and policy formulation. It does not in any way involve taxation, regulation, or investigation. Kindly accord the enumerators the necessary support. Dr. M.A. Olaito, Director, Development Finance Department, CBN, announcer.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
You're watching NTA Network News. Abia State Government has declared curfew from today, the 12th to Thursday, the 14th of September, 2017. A statement by Governor Okezie Ikpeazu announced that this is in view of alleged confrontation between the Nigerian Army and members of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, IPOD. Governor Ikpeazu acknowledged that the Operation Python Dance 2 is aimed at checking kidnapping, banditry, assassination, and secessionist activities, amongst other forms of criminal activities. The governor therefore advised people living within the state to remain law-abiding and carry on their lawful businesses without fear, as efforts will be made by government to reduce friction between the civil populace and members of the Nigerian armed forces. Meanwhile, the Defense Headquarters has cautioned a group of military pensioners over its planned protest, tagged Liberation, scheduled to hold on Wednesday in Abuja. In a statement, Director of Defense Information Major General John Enenche advised the group to get the legal permit from the Nigerian Police Force before embarking on such exercises in order to forestall any breakdown of law and order and any breach of peace. The statement advised the group to explore the available channels of seeking readiness through redress through the appropriate organs of ex-servicemen and the armed forces of Nigeria. As the Nigerian Air Force offensive on Boko Haram enters day 4, more damages have been recorded in the insurgents' enclave. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma brings us more details.
This is the latest footage of the ongoing intensive bombings of Boko Haram hideouts in the Sambisa general area. The location, a Boko Haram settlement in Njimia, was confirmed to be meeting points for the terrorists after several intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions. The interdiction carried out by 2 fighter jets taking turns to drop bombs destroyed structures of the insurgents. Meanwhile, in anticipation of increased number of displaced persons with the ongoing airstrikes, the Air Force has commenced a medical intervention for IDPs with a target to perform routine eye and general surgeries on at least 150 IDPs.
A number of them have been blind with bilateral, simple as bilateral cataract. for years before they even became IDPs. They are seeing light now for the first time that have been operated. Somebody will be carrying a mass in the abdomen. For the first time now, the mass has been brought out.
Been here for 2 days now after my surgery. Everybody in this ward have also been operated upon and are in stable condition. We thank the doctors and also we thank the Nigerian Air Force. The Air Force Medical Center in Maiduguri is also rendering services to injured military personnel from the front lines. In Maiduguri, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
To broker lasting peace among warring groups among Ancha communities of Miango, Bassa local government area of Plateau State, Governor Simon Lalong met with representatives of Fulani and Irigwe communities and heads of security agencies in the state. Paul Dama has details.
The meeting came as a result of the recent attack in Ancha village of Bassa local government area, which resulted in the killing of some residents while others have been displaced. While condoling the bereaved and praying for the repose of the souls of those who lost their lives, Governor Simon Lalong expressed dismay over the violent attack and appealed to citizens to continue to live in peace with one another regardless of any differences.
We condemn in totality because there is no, you can't say you are a victor, you are a vanquished in a crisis of this nature. We lost human beings. After we all agreed within ourselves to say we want to live in peace in Plateau State.
Governor Lalong further stressed that in order to chart a roadmap for peace, the two communities must be frank in their presentations and seek for ways to forestall any reoccurrence. Leaders of the two communities both agreed to put heads together.
The government security agencies with the two community leaders will fight to end this conflict.
Like the rebels fished out the bad eggs from amongst us, we encourage the Fulanis, any bad egg amongst them, they should bring them out.
They also called on security agencies not to relent in ensuring that peace is restored in the area and the culprits brought to book. In Jos, Paul Dama, NTA News.
Hate speeches and fake news have been identified as bane of national development capable of undermining national security. This was the opinion of discussants at a one-day roundtable in Abuja with bloggers, online news outfits, and related social media users on ways of curbing the trend. Olainka Ojo reports that the event was organized by the National Orientation Agency.
Hate speeches are fast becoming the scourge of social media with the increase in cases of online abuse globally. A trend that is making authorities to take stand to curb. And in Nigeria, the use of hate speeches in recent time is arguably becoming common and risk capable of causing series of unrest that must be checked.
Look at it from the point of national security.
For us who are online, it is good for us to use precaution in what we do.
NOA recent survey on those responsible for the use of hate speeches indicates that 74% are politicians, 19% ethnic leaders, 7% religious leaders, and 1% traditional rulers.
In trying to discharge our social responsibility, we need to be cautious to observe the ethics of the profession.
With every nation of the world depending on the resourcefulness of its citizens, participants at the round table canvassed the need to say no to hate speeches and advised that freedom of expression should not be abused, while dialogue should be embraced as a panacea for resolving conflicts. In Abuja, Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
Joining me is the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Dr. Dauda Abari, to shed more light on the discourse on hate speeches.
Garba Abari.
Dr. Garba Abari, I beg your pardon. Welcome to NTA Network News Studio.
Thank you, Ahmed.
This workshop, is it not coming rather late?
No, it is not coming late. In fact, it is a continuation of what the National Orientation Agency has started long before I came. In 2014, the National Orientation Agency has had a series of engagement with bloggers and online publishers. When it was obvious that hate speeches and the fake news have started occupying the social space before the 2015 elections. What we are doing is but a continuation of what had already been started. And we are going to continue not only at the level of roundtable discussion, and the engagement with bloggers and the online publishers, but also expanding the scope and the frontiers to bring in civil society and the other stakeholders with a view to seeing if it is possible for online publishers and the bloggers on their own to develop a code of ethics that will guide their operations. It is actually not coming late. And even then, I would want to say that when the situation started getting out of hand, the National Orientation Agency has at different times actually engaged on our different platforms, the social media platforms, our advocacy platforms, our citizenship platforms, engagement with traditional rulers, with religious leaders, with youth groups, with women groups. You know, we have done actually quite a number. And we had also, as recently as about 2-3 weeks ago, I was on Facebook Live for over 1 hour trying to engage people on hate speeches. Our online, our social media platform, our Twitter handle.
You mean the NOA Twitter handle?
The NOA Twitter handle. The NOA Facebook page. Our Instagram page. We are actually very active, and we engage especially those that are in the forefront of the propagation of these hate speeches, the youth.
The natural question would be, it's all right to jojo and discuss with all these online groups, but how far do you think you can go when you don't have powers to regulate these online bloggers, particularly?
We are not actually even saying we are going to regulate. In fact, the idea is for the online bloggers and online publishers to develop on their own volition their own code of ethics that will govern. Because the reality of the situation is hate speeches and the fake news have far-reaching political and social consequences. And it can impact even on the blogger and on the online. When the crisis begins, everybody is consumed by it. So what we are trying to do is actually for them to see that there is danger in propagation of fake news and online publishing, and especially when such kind of news actually have simultaneous effect and a very wide reach beyond what the conventional media can get.
And you believe they will be receptive to your campaign?
Well, I think they will be receptive to our campaign,
okay,
and we are very confident.
Dr. Garba Abari, we'll have to leave it there. Dr. Garba Abari is the Director General of National Orientation Agency. Thank you so much for coming to our studio.
Thank you, Mohammed.
More news now. All Progressives Congress APC Appeal Committee for the Anambra State August 26 governorship primary election has submitted its report to the party's National Working Committee. Receiving the report at the party's National Secretariat, National Organizing Committee of the APC, Senator Osita Izunaso commended the Hassan Lawal-led committee for timely submission of the report. Saliu Abdullahi has the report.
The appeal committee is an integral process of the governorship primary election that provides an opportunity to look into electoral matters that might arise before, during, and after the primary election. Secretary of the three-man member APC Anambra Governorship Primary Appeal Committee, Nosa Aladeshelu, presented the report on behalf of the chairman.
All the other stakeholders who were indicted by the petitioners and key persons whose responses were key to our report, we also attended to them and we heard their witnesses. So what we have here is our analysis of both the petition, our understanding of the witnesses we received, and so we have given our recommendation to the National Working Committee, who will, in their own wisdom, decide on the final outcome.
National Organizing Secretary assured that the leadership of APC will always remain transparent in its activities and described the exercise as timely in the build-up process to the November governorship election in Anambra State. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ahmed Magarfi, says his caretaker committee is operating on a three-point agenda of reuniting, reconciliation and expanding the party's membership ahead of 2019. He said this at a meeting between the party's leadership and some interest groups. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Bendenkodu reports.
The first meeting was with a group called PDP Integrity Group, with membership cutting across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The agenda of the meeting was rebuilding the party at the aftermath of its defeat at the last 2015 elections and the recent internal crisis.
The interest as a person is to see that the party succeeds, and we have a very good elective convention in a date to be fixed by NEC, because that is the leadership that will take the party through the electoral process, which is critical. So
the chairman also received Bayelsa State leadership of the party, which denied any rift between former President Goodluck Jonathan and Governor Sariyaki Dixon and the party in another hand.
No rivalry group, there is no parallel ESCO. After my election, that is my own state ESCO election, there was no issue of litigation.
Governor Dixon served as the chairman of the party's National Reconciliation Committee in Abuja. Abdullahi Garba Brunukudu, NTA News.
Impersonator of Lagos State Deputy Governor in court and correspondent on the plight of flood-prone communities in Lagos. Ademola is bringing us all that detail. Over to you, Ademola.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and warm welcome to Lagos. A middle-aged man, Adamu Aminu, has been arraigned before the Ebute Metta Magistrate Court, Yaba, for impersonating the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, Dr. Idiat Adebule, on Facebook. He is facing a 4-count charge of felony, obtaining by false pretense, impersonating a public officer, and unlawfully claiming to be the Deputy Governor through phone calls and text messages. Dotun Oguyemi completes the report.
To Facebook reveals the shocking discovery that several accounts with the name Idiat Oluranti existed, but in variations, either with or without the first, middle, and son names together. One even had the title Governor of Lagos State. The Deputy Governor has, however, clearly stated that she has no Facebook account or social media presence. The accused, Adamu Aminu, ran this account with the name Idiat Oluranti with over 1,000 friends and followers, and was able to successfully defraud one Bright Obed of 1 million naira. Adamu, who is facing a 4-count charge, pleaded not guilty to all counts. The accused was arrested by the police in Agege and arraigned before the Chief Magistrate Oluyemisi Adelaja, who granted him bail pending further police investigation into the matter.
We had to bring to the knowledge of the court the circumstances in which the suspect committed that offense and the seriousness of the offense itself being a felony.
It is a bailable offense under the administration of criminal justice law of Lagos State. It does not require remand because the rules, they are all felonies.
The case was adjourned till the 16th of October 2017. In Lagos, Dotun Oguyemi, NTA News.
Residents of Lagos, especially those in flood-prone areas, have called on the Lagos State government to put some palliative measures in place with a view to mitigating the effect of flood incidents in their communities. Musa Toliat has a situation report on the flood-prone areas and the state of drainages in some parts of the metropolis.
Just when Lagos residents thought the rainy season had subsided, the rains came down in torrents and palpable fear pervades several flood-prone communities. The need for an effective drainage system is therefore evident, so that excess rainwater can be checked to avoid flash flood. Communities in Alaka under Surulere local government area are always on red alert when the weather becomes cloudy. This situation is not unconnected with the state of the canal in the axis, which was under construction before work was abandoned midway.
This canal was awarded, but we don't know why the contract was stopped. All we just noticed that the people did not show up again.
Residents of Owosheni Street, located in Itire-Ikate Local Council Development Area, have been grappling with flash floods for several years due to expansion work on the canal in the area. The contractor handling the project have since moved out of sight.
More than 10 years now, I've been in this street, they've not done anything.
They said maybe the money government gave to them has finished. They are requesting for another one. They have not given them any one.
The challenges of ineffective drainage system is also evident in several parts of Itire, where drainages overflow when it rains. Lagos residents are, however, appealing to the state government to embark on some palliative measures to forestall needless loss of lives and property due to incessant flash flood incidents.
They used to send somebody, they should come and see, and when they come, they will promise that they will do it. At the end of the day, they won't see anything. So when the governor come by himself and see it, and so I believe that there will be an improvement.
In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We now take a break for some messages, after which the news continues from Abuja. Stay with us.
Where innovation begins. The Brain, LG Inverter Technology. Better performance. More energy savings. Now in the entire lineup at LG.
The family of Okon has been taken hostage by an evil-looking creature.
See, just show for night. Yeah, big.
Come in. My sister, I was there what was happening in the news. We must suddenly brought back your family.
You think you can freeze them? No way.
When Amatem Fort appeared, malaria run for cover. Amatem Fort against some gel capsules, tablets for adults, and suspension for Pekin. Amatem does not eat somebody and are very easy to use. Aywa, remember how Amatem Fort against scratch pin to confirm the original and against some gel capsules. Amatem, say no to malaria, yes to life.
Life is like a game of trust. Sometimes to fly, we fall. What's important isn't why, when, or how. What matters is who will be there to catch you.
Hey, good thing I'm here.
Definitely. Always a good thing.
Custodian. Exceeding expectations.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, wishes to invite Chief Registrars, Deputy Chief Registrars, Assistant Chief Registrars, and Directorate staff of the Judicial Service Commissions in the Federation to its 3-day national workshop. Theme: Legal Administrative Imperatives towards Transforming and Development of Human Resource Management in the Nigerian Judiciary. Date: 25th to 27th September 2017. Venue: ASCON Complex, Topo Badagry. Fee: 70,000 naira per delegate. Payment mode: name of account, ASCON collection account, payable at any commercial bank. Account number 023-005-586-1019. For further inquiries, please contact Barrister Kolawole Alagbe, Workshop Director on 00333-07408. Haruna Kapo, Workshop Coordinator on 00239-33466. You can also visit www.ascon.gov.ng. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. Standard Organization of Nigeria keys into the presidential initiative on ease of doing business and reviews its processes to remove challenges being experienced by investors. Let's join Joy Uzo on Business News for details and more stories.
Hello and a warm welcome to Business News. The Standard Organization of Nigeria, SAN, has renewed its drive for better service delivery towards creating a conducive atmosphere for businesses. This is in line with the federal government's Ease of Doing Business initiative. The Director General of the organization, Osita Abloma, made this known during a sensitization workshop on the agency's Act and Ease of Doing Business. This is aimed at keeping partners abreast with developments as well as the recent online platform by the organization to reduce bottlenecks in its operations.
The organization ensures the reduction or elimination of substandard products in the Nigerian market and the availability of goods and services that meet international standards for domestic consumption and export.
The federal government has generated 1.2 billion naira in the last 1 year from the sale of the combined expatriate residence permit and aliens card, (CEPAC), to foreigners living and working in the country. A report from the Nigeria Immigration Service shows that the money was remitted to the federal government by Continental Transfer Technique Limited, the technical partner of the Nigeria Immigration Service that is in charge of the scheme. The green card, which is mandatory for all expatriates in the country, has also assisted the Immigration Service in checking illegal migration and compliance with immigration control issues. The Nigerian Stock Exchange continued bearish trading for a second day. For Tuesday's closing figures, here is a graphic summary. Finally, on business news, OPEC Secretary General Muhammad Bakindo said a deal to cut supply would help the market rebalance and strong demand could further reduce oil inventories. This comes as oil prices recouped losses on Tuesday. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, however, announced that its output fell in August, an indication that the production-cutting deal with non-member countries is helping to tackle a supply glut. In its monthly report, OPEC also raised its demand forecast for 2018 and said 2 hurricanes that hit the United States in recent weeks would have negligible impacts on demand. International benchmark Brent crude edged 30 cents higher to $54.14 per barrel as it traded as low as $53.42. The 14-country producer group said its oil output in August fell by 79,000 barrels per day from July to 32.76 million barrels per day in August. That's it on business news. Many thanks for watching. The bulletin continues shortly.
Time now to join Mina in our Port Harcourt Network Center. Mina, over to you.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has called on the Niger Delta leaders to unite for the rapid development of the region. Governor Wike emphasized the need for unity to checkmate the activities of outsiders, taking advantage of the disunity that exists in the region to deny the people benefits of their resources. Ogidi Nyekwere completes the report.
Governor Wike speaking during a meeting with the Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa and former Governor of Delta State Chief James Ibori at Delta State said the unity of Niger Delta region is critical as disunity will create undue exploitation of the resources of the region to the disadvantage of the people and communities.
For us in Rivers State and Delta, we are one Niger Delta. We must work as brothers, we must work as a team.
We in Delta State, we appreciate it and we thank you for this. And we'll continue to partner together. I commend the spirit because that alone sends the signal of unity and a common purpose of our both states and our people.
Meeting which was held at the residence of the former governor of Delta State, Chief James Ibori, later went into a closed-door session. From Ogara, Delta State, Ogidi Nyekwere, NTA News.
Residents of Missions Road, Iyo Akwa Ibom State, are still counting their losses following the downpour, which resulted in severe flooding of the area with loss of properties. Jenny Bassi reports that the people are calling for urgent government intervention.
The flood, which swept through Mission Road and its environs, affected many shops, houses, and some churches. Residents of the area who were seen trying to salvage some of their property from the flood blamed it on poor channelization of drainage systems within the area.
So we are suffering the consequence of the work done that was not well done. Because the water that runs from the 6 roads here carries human beings.
So we are pleading with the governor that he should use his office
to come and see what is happening and then find a solution for us so that we can live in peace in this environment.
We need the government to come to our rescue.
It is the hope of the people that government will come to their aid within the shortest possible time. In Uyo, Jenny Bassi, NTA News.
That's a bit from Port Harcourt. Kudu is back to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Mina. Nigeria Army School of Infantry commences training of officers and soldiers. For details of these and more, let's join Suleiman in our Kaduna Network studio. Suleiman, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kudu, and a warm welcome. In line with its mandate of ensuring effective peacekeeping operations and national security, the Nigerian Army School of Infantry, Jaji, is reviewing the curriculum of all its courses to reflect the current realities in dealing with apparent sophistication of enemies of peace. Commander of the Center, Major General Harry Edet, stated this during the inauguration of the combined commanding officers and young officers course held at Jaji, Kaduna. The report. It is a composition of 134 participants for the basic infantry course, 27 tactics infantry, 39 infantry non-commissioned officers, 19 company commander course, as well as 86 participants for the young officers course. The training, which will expose the participants to new tactics of military operations and critical thinking and combating security challenges. It will run for 13 weeks, with the exception of commanding officers course scheduled to run for 12 weeks.
So the inauguration of this course is, first of all, to set the scene or set the stage for us to make our training, professional military training, more mission specific.
The training plans to climax into a final field training exercise at the Falgore Forest. Acting Commandant of NASI, Brigadier General Jamil Sarhan, urged the participants to be serious in their studies.
It is heartwarming to observe that the Chief of Army Staff has invested heavily in infrastructural development of NASI.
At the end of the training, it is hoped that the 305 participants of the course will be better equipped with new tactics of command and leadership techniques for optimum performance. The Court of Appeal, Kaduna Judicial Division, has dismissed the appeal by the former governor of Katsina State challenging the jurisdiction of Katsina High Court to entertain the case of financial embezzlement instituted against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Judicial correspondent Austin Anyebe reports.
The Katsina State government, through the EFCC, is pressing for the recovery of 11 billion naira from the former governor and others. The public money which it alleged to have been misappropriated. But the former governor, Shehu Shema, filed an interlocutory appeal at the Court of Appeal, Kaduna Judicial Division, challenging the jurisdiction of the Katsina State High Court to hear the case among other judicial processes he deemed illegal. But Justice A.G. Mushalia dismissed the appeal, saying the Katsina State High Court has the jurisdiction to adjudicate on the case instituted against him.
The point was that FCC has no power to file any criminal charge in the State High Court. But the court said no. Even if the argument were to be valid, it does not lie in their mouth. It is only the Attorney General of the Federation, in whose name that case was filed, or the Attorney General of Katsina State that can complain. We shall now go and continue the case paper in the Katsina High Court. Counsel to the former governor, Shehu Shema, and others, Elisha Pua, said they will study the ruling by the Court of Appeal and take the next line of action.
We apologize for the poor audio quality in some part of that report. We have more stories after these messages.
As Nigeria gets out of recession, what are the strategies to consolidate the economy? All on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live promises to be incisive, informative, and educating. Join us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Mali and Turkish governments have lauded the role of Nigeria as a driving force that stabilizes the West African sub-region and its commitment at improving the relations between the two countries. Mali's President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, while receiving letter of credence from Nigeria's ambassador to Mali, Ken Nwachukwu, recalled the traditional relations between Nigeria and Mali, which he hopes will be strengthened. Similarly, while receiving the letter of credence from Nigeria's ambassador to Turkey, Ilyasu Audu Paragalda, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan reiterated his commitment to develop strategic relations with Nigeria, particularly in the areas of politics, economic and military cooperation. A statement by the Special Assistant to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sarah Sanda, also states that Turkish President appealed to the Nigerian government to address the decline in the balance of trade between Nigeria and Turkey. Ayodiji Makinde is here with the sports update.